Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Well, welcome back to the channel if it is... I had that reversed. Welcome to the channel if it's your first time. Welcome back to the channel if you're already a subscriber. All right, let's get into it. What we're going to talk about today. So today I want to talk about faith, and I want to talk about how I dealt with some of my struggles as I was, kind of just going through life to the point where I am right now. What are some of the things that I dealt with? I just want to talk. And maybe this clicks for somebody, all right? Maybe just clicks for somebody. So let's talk about faith, man. Let's talk about faith. What is faith, right? What is faith? You're hoping, you're believing in something that you cannot see. All right? You have this deep held belief. You're hoping, you're believing that things are going to work out, and you don't know if they're going to work out. How many of you are in that situation right now where you don't even know how you're going to pay next month's rent? You don't know how you're going to pay the car note. You don't know how you're going to pay the mortgage. You don't know how a lot of things you don't know how. But for the longest while, somehow, some way, it has been working out. And I lived like that for most of my life has been like that, until I got to the point where I got out of university and, really worked hard to put my life in a certain situation to be able to live my life a certain way. But a lot of it was like hidden hope, man. Like you hidden hope. You don't know how you're gonna pay. I remember, like, I don't know how I was gonna pay rent. And I know for a lot of people, especially right now with rent prices going up and all that sort of stuff, you're like, how am I gonna pay this rent? What am I gonna... You gotta do what you gotta do. There were times where I had to room with folks to be able to afford living expenses because I couldn't do it on my own. So maybe some of you might find yourself in a situation where that's what you probably got to do. Like, you got to figure out, am I going to have to room with someone or something like that because I can't afford this rent on my own. So, what am I going to do? That might be something you got to do because times are so difficult. There are organizations out there to help folks figure out how to pay their rent. Man, times are rough. I'm talking about it and I'm thinking it's hard. Even if you have a job, and even if you consider yourself to be making decent money, right now things are difficult. Things are really, really difficult. You could be making $50,000-$60,000 right now. I know somebody's probably saying, "Ooh, I wish I was making $50,000, but $60,000." But it depends on the responsibilities that you have with that kind of money. Times are rough, man. Food prices are crazy. You go into the grocery store and they keep going up. Like they just. I feel like every 2 weeks you go to the grocery, it's more expensive. Let's not even talk about eggs. We're not going to talk about eggs. I'm just talking about everything else. It's still going up. Like, cost of living is really, really, really expensive. And you just got to hang in there. You're probably thinking, what it had to do with fate? Well, yeah, everything, because you can't give up on life. I mean, that's the thing. You cannot give up on life. You just cannot give up on life. I mean, what you gonna do? Just quit? And you're in a situation where, like, even if you thought about quitting or giving up, however you want to define giving up or quitting, you couldn't even really do it because, it's almost like saying, man, I'm just going to throw it in and I'm just going to not do anything, or just, but you still got to eat. You still got bills to pay. So you can't quit and stay in your place because you got to pay to stay in the place. You get where I'm coming from? Like, you can't even quit and just give up on life because you're still going to have a responsibility in the quitting stages, right? So it's rough, man. Like, you really got to have faith out here. You really, really got to have faith. You got to believe that you're going to be able to persevere. So let me tell you, man, good places for you to be looking. Look for organizations in your city, maybe different types of government assistance programs for those of you who might be in situations like that where you need help. Maybe you need to get 2 jobs, right? Maybe that's something you need to do, is get 2 jobs. You have the main job, but you're trying to fit something else in the middle, at the beginning or the end. I don't know. I don't even know why I said the middle, but you're trying to just fit something else in there, right? You know what I mean? So that you could afford to live. Because right now, when you calculate food and you calculate mortgage or rent, and if you have a car note on top of that, and geez, and woo boy, if you got kids and you gotta feed them because they ain't old enough to fend for themselves, that is a height of responsibility you talking about right now with the cost of living stuff that we got going. So times are rough, and you need faith. You need faith. You need to look for all of the resources in your community. You need to see what resources your government might be providing, your local government, your state government might be providing. And then you also need to just, I need a second job. The other thing is, you need to also see, where can I trim some of my expenses? Like, what do I not need? Do I really, really need cable right now? Do I really, really, really need this or that? Sometimes people got a lot of subscriptions, and you paying $5 here, $10 here, $10 here, $10 here, and it's like $10, $10 when you had money. But now that things are tight, you realize, if I cut this off and this off and this off and this off, life might actually be a little bit easier. So look and see what else you can cut off, so you could. It ain't easy, man. It ain't easy. It really ain't easy out here. But you gotta have faith. You gotta have faith. You cannot give up. Your church is always, for those of you who go to church, or your mosque, your whatever the case is, it's always that sanctuary. It's always a good place for you to go and meet people, interact with people, and you never know, man. God blesses you in different ways. You never know what situation you might walk into. Somebody could help you get a job, a second job, or whatever the case is, help you put some food on the table, especially you got kids to feed, all that sort of stuff. But you got to have faith. And so when I was going through some of my worst times in my life, and it was because of money, just not having money, you just believe. I just believe that, look, things are going to work out regardless, right? So things are going to work out. I put my head down, and you see all those things I'm telling you is those things I was doing. What resources can I find in my community, or whatever the case is, at my church? Obviously working multiple jobs is something that I've done for most of my life, right? And so it's like, how can I figure out ways how to make it? Because you can't even give up. As I said, you can't give up. You gotta have faith. You gotta keep pushing. You gotta keep, and maybe there's some things you could eliminate, some things you don't need. There's some sacrifices. I hate to say there's some sacrifices, man. Yeah, I mean, you gotta eat to live, not live to eat. So you're even watching, like, how many, like, you gotta eat, but like, how much do I really need to eat? How many meals do I need to eat per day, or whatever? All the time. I know this might sound thing, but folks, y'all, it may not be you watching this video, specifically you, but there's somebody else who watches this video who is struggling right now. Somebody who's trying to figure out how I'm gonna make it right now, right? But I just want to tell you, don't give up, man. Just have some faith. Have some faith. Keep pushing forward. God is good. Times are hard. But when you already down at the bottom and it's rough, there's only one place, and it's up. It can get better. I know it's cliche, but it's true. It can get better, but you got to work. Faith without works is dead. You got to put in some work for your life to get better. You got to put in some work for your life to change. You can't just sit back and say, well, things are going to get better, it's going to change. You can't just do that, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Have some faith, believe in yourself. Things could change, things could work out. Look for resources, push yourself, don't give up, and work. If you got to do 2 jobs for a while, do it. Don't give up. I know it's stressful right now. It's hard out here. Inflation all over the world, prices just jacked up, but you could do it. You could make it. Keep looking for solutions. All right, 2 things before I go. I always, at the end of every video, do something good for someone, right? Regardless of what's going on in your life, there might be somebody who just need you to somebody to talk to, and you just got to sit and listen, right? Just figure out, and giving back in about money. It's not about money, because sometimes you ain't have money to give, but there are different ways to give back. And then 2, do something good for yourself. Do something good for yourself, man. Make a move today. When you see this video, make a move today that is going to move your life forward. And drop it in the chat. What are you going to do today that's going to move your life forward? What are you going to change? What are you going to give up? Who are you going to get rid of? Who are you going to move past? Let us know, right? So check out the rest of the videos, Road to 5,000 and beyond. Check out the rest of the content. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. It does help with the algorithms, help the channel grow, right? So until next time, peace.